So, so this video is to all you people who are sitting at home right now, locked up inside your houses, witnessing something that has never been witnessed before in all of history. A complete system shutdown of the global world system, and the new world order is coming soon. When you see what is happening right now, anytime you walk outside your houses, everybody you will encounter is wearing a mask. That is because these times we are living in are the end of days. There's a way that what is happening right now was predicted and foretold in scripture, in the Holy Bible, the divine word, the living word, and the absolute word of my Father, the Most High God. It was foretold thousands of years ago that exactly this would happen. A few months ago, we saw my Father, the creator of everything, commanding the locust to invade northern Kenya. And they came, they obeyed his command, and they came in droves, and they consumed every green thing that they saw. These locusts were different. They're the kind of locusts that will devour every green thing in sight, and when there's nothing more to eat, they resort to cannibalism. They start eating each other. That is something that is unprecedented, but is happening right now. It happened in northern Kenya, and it spread to different countries around the world. There's Holy Scripture that talks about this. And it says that when I command the locust, or when I shut up the heavens and there's no rain, and when I command the locust to devour every green thing that they see, all I want is for human beings to humble themselves, come back to me, and pray to me, seek my face, and I will listen to them, and I will heal their land. I forgot to say pestilences in there, but it's in there. And pestilences means disease, a plague sent by the Most High God. And right now, that is exactly what's happening. If you think about what is happening to you right now, you're in your house. You can't leave your house right now. There's a complete system shutdown happening all around the world. You're not allowed to leave your house unless you have the proper documentation. And that is one step closer to the new world order, which people have been talking about for a very long time, but nobody has been paying attention. The Most High God allowed the coronavirus to happen to give man a message. He has been told, she has been told to stop whatever they're doing. Stop chasing that money. Leave your offices, leave your places of work, go to your houses and shut yourselves inside your houses and be still and meditate and evaluate and reevaluate your life and your relationship with the creator of everything, the Most High God. Because the sad thing is, We are living in the end of days, folks. The end is not near anymore. The end is here. We are witnessing it all around the world. So the Most High God knows that time is running out and is giving mankind a chance to be still and seek His face. Seek Him with all his heart or all her heart, and you shall find Him, because the end is here. He has given you a chance to be still, sit inside your houses, and really think about your relationship with the Most High God, the creator of everything. That's exactly why He has allowed this coronavirus to happen and the complete global system shut down. That's exactly what you should be doing right now. When you see everybody walking around with masks, last year you did not be thinking that this was going to happen this year. But as I said, the Holy Scripture, the living word of the Most High God, the Holy Bible, first of all, is still the number one best-selling book in the world till today. And it has foretold a lot of prophecies. I believe almost a quarter of it is prophecies. And every prophecy foretold in the Holy Bible, from the beginning to the end, Genesis to Revelation, has happened, and has happened with 100% accuracy. Not 95% accuracy, 100% accuracy. That's how the prophecies have happened. So when you see what is happening right now, and it's been happening for quite some time now, we've been seeing all these guys on the streets with those big signs around their necks saying the end is near. Those guys knew exactly what they were talking about. And people walked past them thinking this guy is mad. But these guys have seen the signs and have understood exactly what is happening right now. There's a way that prophecy said, Jesus Christ Himself, 2,000 years ago, He said and foretold prophecy and said, because He was asked, how will we know the times of your second coming? He was asked that question by the human beings around Him. And His answer was, the signs will come like labor pains to a pregnant woman. Think about this. When a pregnant woman is having her labor pains, in the beginning of the labor pains, they're not that frequent, they're not that intense. But as the labor progresses, the labor pains become more frequent and more intense. And if you look at what has been happening around the world, hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes, forest fires, volcano eruptions, if you do your research, you will see that all of them, and I mean all of them, have been happening in increasing frequency and intensity, exactly as the Holy Bible foretold it would happen. That's exactly what's happening. People in the USA right now are hearing trumpet sounds in the atmosphere, and they call the policeman in the police station and they report it. And when the policeman comes to where the trumpet sounds are being heard, The policemen cannot explain where those trumpet sounds are coming from. They ask the scientists cannot explain where those trumpet sounds are coming from. People around the world are waking up in the morning to take a nice walk on the beach. And as they're walking, they find tens of dolphins beached, lying on the beach, dead. They cannot explain it. Even the smartest scientists are asked for answers. They cannot explain what happened. Same thing with whales. People walking in the morning on the beach and they find whales on the beach dead. Tens of them. They can't explain it. In the USA and around the world, you find a small area with birds of the same species dropping from the sky, landing on the earth dead. Over a small area you find hundreds of them. And nobody can explain what is happening because they're looking in all the wrong places. All the answers are in the Holy Bible, the divine and living Word and Holy Word of the Most High God. It foretold this thousands of years ago and told us that exactly this would happen. When you see something like the coronavirus happening, this is not the first time it's happened. When you think about the AIDS virus that happened some years ago, there's a way that it did not happen by coincidence. This is something that was planned and foretold in scripture. It was planned by the elites who think that they run this world under instructions from the devil. But it's the Most High God who has the final word. The AIDS virus happened because the elites decided that in Africa there's too many natural resources that are very valuable to this world. There's beautiful animals of very many species all around Africa. There's beautiful scenery everywhere. But the problem that the elite saw was, with Africans having all this and the way they're multiplying, because our ancestors did not marry just one wife. One man would marry 10 wives, meaning in 1 year he could get 10 children. In 2 years he could get 20 children. In 3 years he could get... You get the logic. So they saw how Africans were multiplying, plus how they were blessed by the Most High God with diamonds, silver, gold, platinum, uranium. All of it is in Africa. And they saw all this, the elites. And they decided that they wanted an Africa without Africans. And that's why they got the best minds from around the world, put them in a state-of-the-art laboratory with all the latest technologies they could find, and told them to create a virus so that when one African gets together with another African trying to make another African, all those Africans would get the virus and die. And these guys in the laboratory went with all the latest equipment they could find, and they produced exactly that, the HIV/AIDS virus. And they ensured that this is a virus that you can only transmit when you are trying to make another human being. Think about that for a bit. If you don't use a condom, you're trying to make another human being. That is one of the easiest ways to transmit the AIDS virus. An African getting together with another African, trying to make another African, and all the Africans get the virus and they die. Think about that. And that's exactly what happened. And then, just like in the movies, they went into the prisons in the USA. And you know, in prisons, they don't mix genders. In one prison, it's just men. In another prison, it's just women. And that results in homosexuality, a very unnatural and evil act, because it goes directly against the powers that the Most High God gave to human beings to procreate and make other human beings. And they tested that virus on the homosexuals in the prisons in the USA that they had selected. And they saw and they observed these prisoners and saw that, okay, their immune system is systematically shutting down. They get a disease and they're not healing from it. And they start displaying flu-like symptoms. Think about that. Connect that to the coronavirus. Flu-like symptoms. That's how they always manifest in your body. These modified diseases, man-made. And when they saw that it worked, they knew that that would be their plan B story. If their plan A story failed, if people rejected the plan A story, they would come to their plan B story and said that this virus originated from the prisons because there's a lot of rampant homosexuality in the prisons, and because it's an unnatural act, that's how the HIV/AIDS virus mutated and became what it became. And then they went on with their plan A, where they send a few black operations or black operatives into the deepest parts of Africa, into Congo, into the Congo forest, in a small chartered airplane. And these people go into a small village inside the forest in Congo, and they disperse the virus to the locals there. And this virus starts spreading. And when one African is getting together with another African, trying to make another African, that one man and his 10 wives and all the children they make all die. And you see entire villages being decimated like that. And the story is, their plan A story is, that this has happened because the natives, or as they used to call them some years ago, the savages in the African forests, have interacted with the baboons or the monkeys or the gorillas around there in a way that has transmitted the virus from the animals to human beings. And that was their story. And they say that the AIDS virus was somehow transmitted from the animals in the forest to the human beings living in the forest. And the sad thing is that everybody swallowed that story up. And they did not ask themselves very simple, very deep, and very fundamental questions. Like, why is it that those Africans living inside that forest have been living there for a very long time? And they've been living there with the flora and the fauna in that area, including those animals that they say the HIV/AIDS virus came from. They've been living with those animals for a very long time. Why is it that they have been interacting with these animals for a very long time? But at that time was when the AIDS virus decided to move from the animals to the human beings in that area, in Africa, Congo. Why? Nobody asked themselves that question. They just swallowed the cover story wholeheartedly, as they do with everything that is presented to them in the media nowadays. They keep talking about fake news. That's exactly what it is. And so, one of the prophecies that was foretold in the Holy Scripture in relation to the end times was that there will come a day in the end times, because the Most High God was not pleased with the nation of Israel, his chosen people, because he had sent his one and only Son, Jesus Christ, and put him to live amongst the Jews, and they rejected him. Many of them rejected him as the Messiah. Till today, the people who call themselves the Jews, who are not really the Jews, the real Jews, do not believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only Messiah. They're still waiting for their Messiah. And their Messiah will be presented to you as the false Messiah, who is in truth the Antichrist. That's going to be another story I'll talk about in a later date. But the Jews, as a result of rejecting Jesus Christ as the real Messiah, were scattered to the four corners of the world by the Most High God. And when this happened, Jews, the real Jews, went to all the different places around the world. Even in Africa, there are real Jews in the southern areas of Africa and all around Africa. The real Jews. Even Jesus Christ said in the end of days, there will be those who will proclaim themselves as Jews, as the real Jews, but will not be the real Jews. That's exactly what's happening right now. That's why right now I believe we have the last Pope we will ever have. And this Pope is the one you see throwing the sign, the horns of the devil in public. And they call him the Pope. You know what I'm saying? Him, the false prophet, is a Jesuit. The first Jesuit Pope ever. And the last Pope in humanity, basically. One of the most evil men in the world. He's the Pope right now. And what I was trying to say was, there's a way that Jesus Christ said that they will come as birth pains, and there will be wars and rumors of wars. That's already happened. There was World War I, 1914 to 1918. All of Europe went to war. And then, as you go through history, you find that there was the Great Depression in the USA, and there was a prohibition of alcohol in the USA, everything working towards an agenda. And then there was World War II. And then, after World War II, where countries around the world go to war, nation rising against nation, and kingdom rising against kingdom, just as it was foretold it would be in the end times, thousands of years ago in the Holy Bible. After World War II, the United